Hello and welcome to today's video. I'm going to be discussing something a bit different. Today, I'd like to share my politics, which, as should surprise nobody who knows me, are extremely left. In fact, I'm an anarchist. But what exactly is anarchism? How would an anarchist society function? The answers to these questions are, well, complicated and can vary from anarchist to anarchist, but let's start with the first one and take it step by step. The term anarchy comes from the Greek anarchos, that is, an plus archos, or without a ruler. Hint, anarchy is without rulers, that is, without government. This, of course, I'm sure sounds like a horrible idea on the outset. After all, government, one might argue, is needed for things like regulation, rule of law, environmental protection, etc. One might even conjure up images of the purge, where everything is legal, TM. This, of course, is a fundamental misunderstanding of anarchy. Anarchy does not mean chaos, but rather a different order based on cooperation, solidarity, freedom, and equality. Now that's a mouthful, so let's start simple and describe what anarchism is at its heart. Anti-authoritarian. The idea that we need some sort of authority figure to tell us what to do and how to govern our lives, it's a lie that has been sold to us for millennia by the powerful in order to keep us in line. In fact, when it comes to practically any justification of authoritarianism, it boils down to some sort of benefit to the ruling class. This is by no means to say that every individual is perfect in making choices, but rather that each human should have the right to direct their own lives as long as it does not infringe upon the freedom of others. This, of course, is not how our current society is set up. Currently, we have a government, which, to borrow from Enrico Malatesta, can be defined as the following. The government is made up of all governors. The governors are those who have power, to a greater or lesser degree, to make use of the social power, that is, physical, intellectual, and economic power of the whole community in order to oblige everybody to carry out their wishes. And this power, in our opinion, constitutes the principle of government or authority. In short, those who govern determine and orchestrate their wishes throughout society via the power they hold as part of the ruling elite. The idea of anarchy is to abolish the system and replace it with self-government, that is to say, direct democracy, on a horizontal level rather than a hierarchical level. What this means is that rather than having someone above, such as a governor or Congress, we instead should have local assemblies which send instantly recallable delegates. This would be in such a manner that no council has power over the other, and people work together in the spirit of cooperation. Laws would be replaced by community standards in such a way that rehabilitative justice would be key. An important note is that of property and its abolishment. This is where we come across some heavy theoretical ideas, which I will explore more thoroughly in another video. In short, there are two types of ownership. There is private property and then personal possessions. Private property is property that you own, which is used to exploit others. That is, for example, privately owned land, factories, machines needed for production, etc. For example, the ownership of a factory is inherently exploitative to the workers in order to increase the value of the product, which the workers never see reflected in their paycheck. Personal property are things that you own which are in your possession and are not inherently exploitative. For example, a toothbrush, a phone, a dwelling place are all things which you personally own that aren't exploitative. The abolishment of private property comes a communal ownership of the means of production. With communal ownership comes the idea that everyone's basic needs would be met through the community. This means things like food, shelter, and medical care would be communally available for everyone for the sake of the community rather than for any idea of profit. Because a right to life, which everyone in the community has, implies a right to the means of life. Hence, things like healthcare, food, shelter would all be guaranteed in an anarchist system. The economics of anarchy would make for its own video, and this is simply a brief overview in 5 minutes of what anarchy is. In further videos, we will see how it can be applied to pretty much all aspects of life. In the next video, we shall take a look at what property means in an anarchist system. Until then.